Hi everyone, welcome back. We have our second last Amonkhet full set review. We're now going through the green cards. So my partner today is super psyched up. Anthony, how you doing?
Yeah, screen cards. How you going, Brett?
Alright, we're time to look at some big monsters and see what green can offer us. And as usual, we're going to start off with our god. So, what have we
So
got?
pretty. We've got Ronus the Indomitable. Two and a green for a 5/5 legendary creature god. It has Death Touch and Indestructible. Ronus the in I'm not saying that again. Can't attack or block unless you control another creature with power 4 or greater. And it's got an ability, two and a green. Another target creature gets +2/+0 and gains trample until end of turn.
Yeah, this is going to be the easiest god to turn on. Just
Yep.
have another creature and you're fine.
Yep. There's nothing more to it, really. Yeah, this card's very, very good. Very, very good. You got to watch this card on blocks as well, just because if they've got mana up, don't run your creature into it
Yeah.
because it can just make another creature big. Just don't fall for that. Um, yeah.
Yeah, that's really good. I mean, it doesn't have its own evasion, which is it's just gonna get chumped, I guess. Can be abyss that way,
Yep.
but giving it another creature trample seems really good.
Yep. Sorry.
And
Yep.
we have our pretty invocation as well.
I really like this one. I like how the green comes up on these invocations.
Yeah,
Um,
it's really nice.
yeah, I like this one. Really pretty. I probably want this one the most out of all of them.
Fair enough. All right, you can have the green one. I'll take the black one. I'll be happy.
Cool.
All right. The benefaction of Aronas is 2 and a green for a sorcery. Reveal the top 5 cards of your library. You can have a creature or enchantment from them. The rest go to the graveyard. And
Yep. Um, I'm
do you
not a
want this in
huge
limited?
fan.
I'm not feeling this as a limited card.
Creature card and or enchantment card. Yeah, not really.
It's N, so you can take both if you hit. You can be a 2 for 1 if you're playing enchantments.
Yeah, yeah, can be. I don't know. I'm not a big fan of this card, really. No.
You gotta search up those cartouche and trials. Get those
Yeah,
enchantments.
maybe if I'm deep on that strategy, which I don't think I will be.
No,
Yeah,
no, I don't like it. I think you should avoid this in limited.
yep. Don't take it.
Bitterblade
Next one
Warrior.
is Bitterblade Warrior. One and a green for another bear. 2/2 Jackal Warrior. You may exert it when it attacks, and when you do, it gets +1/+0 and gains Death Touch until end of turn. That's a weird kind of exert ability.
I was thinking the same thing. Because Death Touch is usually defensive, like you want that on blocks more than on attacks.
Yeah, because you give your opponent their choice whether they want to block or not. Maybe it makes your creature unblockable if all they've got is like a 4/4.
Mm.
Like at least it gets to attack because it can't block very well against it. So yeah, I don't know. It's a bit awkward, but it's still fine.
It just dies to all the other bears though. Like if your opponent wants to kill it, they're just gonna go, "I'll block with my 2/2." Doesn't get.
Yeah, so I think this is a little bit weaker than in general, but of the exert cards. But it's still a bear at the end of the day, and you'll probably play it. Just don't pick it too highly. I don't think.
I think the biggest benefit of the Death Touch is it gets through the walls. It gets through the crab and the beetle.
Ah, good call. Good call. That's something the other exerters don't do.
All right. Cartouche. I'm gonna go ahead and say probably worst cartouche.
Um, let's have a look. What does it do? It enchants a creature you control. When it enters the battlefield, you may have a creature fight a creature an opponent controls. It gets +1/+1. Really? That's the worst one?
Yeah, I mean, you have to enchant something, and that creature has to fight. It has to be the same creature, so you must enchant that. It's
Isn't
kind
this?
of um,
Isn't that Hunter Week? Isn't it
Hunter
Hunter
Week
Week?
here.
Just gives it trample as well. I think it's a bit better than that. Then.
It's Hunt the Week with the opportunity of that +1/+1 counter going away.
What do you mean going away?
Well, if the cartouche goes away, if you have enchantment removal or that sort of thing, then
Sure. I think I'm fine with that. I think it's still Hunter Week, 3 mana Hunter Week.
okay.
Um, Yeah, I this might be one of the better ones, I think. Because I mean, you'll play Prey Upon, and this is better than that.
It is, yeah. I think it's decent as far as the enchantments go. I'm not saying it's bad. I'm just saying as far as the other most of the other cartouches are a lot cheaper, so they're getting those combat abilities.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I think this is fine for its cost. I actually think I would play this one without playing any trials or anything. I'd feel okay with it.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, just because I mean, Hunter Wiki you can usually get a removal spell out of, so
Fair enough.
yeah.
Yeah, I do think you should play this if in green decks. You definitely want to play this card. So
Yeah.
this is how green does removal.
Okay.
All right.
Next one's
This
a
one's pretty strong. It's a rare. It's a 4 mana 3/3 Champion of Ronas. And this is kind of dumb. This is if you may exert Champion of Ronas as it attacks, and if you do, you may put a creature card from your hand onto the battlefield. So this is Elvish Piper on a 3/3.
Yes. That's pretty good. um, wow. It's interesting how these kind of cards play out in limited. In constructed, it can do some pretty stupid stuff.
Yeah.
Um,
Mostly I'm looking at the big cycling creatures. We've seen a whole bunch of them that cost a lot. You just attack with this and dump a giant dude into play. The Indestructible Angel for 7, just put him into play.
wow. Yeah, that's really cool. Actually, yeah, that's a good call. Yeah, especially in this format, you're more willing to play those big dudes because you can cycle them off. But if you've got this, then it makes it all the better. You can just chuck it in play. I like it.
Yeah, it's really good. And he's going to do some dumb things in casual and EDH formats. Just put giant stuff into play.
Yeah. I like this card. Channeler Initiate. Is that right? Initiate?
Yep.
1 and a green for a 3/4 human druid. Wow, that's crazy stats. But when it enters the battlefield, put 3 -1/-1 counters on target creature you control. Okay. So then you tap and remove a -1/-1 counter from it and add 1 mana of any color to your mana pool. So the counters are used as mana.
Yeah.
Cool.
I think this makes
That's
it really interesting.
Yeah, definitely. If you've got a 1-drop that you can expend, you can just have a 3/4 for 2 mana. Obviously, you can not do that.
Yeah, because there's so much flexibility with this card. Is you're either playing it early as like a Birds of Paradise, because it's a 0/1, but as you use up that mana, it gets bigger, so that by the time you don't need the ramp anymore, it's a reasonable creature. It's a serious 3/4.
Yeah. I agree with you that this is a really good card for limited. You always take this card. It's just really interesting how this plays in combat as well, because you can just tap it to remove a counter.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so it starts out as a 0/1, and then as you're working through, you can block and tap. Use a combat trick or just throw the mana away, and it gets a little bit bigger.
Yeah, this is going to be a really good card for limited. Constructed maybe.
Well, this is one of your ramp guys, so if you're trying to get big, you're trying to do like get Liliana down early or something like that. I can see I'd be playing this card.
Yep. Really, really good. It's also another one of those cards that you can put your -1/-1 counters on this, and this will be able to do something good while the other creatures stay big.
Yes. Yeah.
So,
cool.
yep,
Great
good
card. Definitely going to pick those up. Colossopede is a 5/5 for 5, and that's it. It's huge.
Sometimes you need a big dumb dude, and sometimes you don't.
Yeah. I'm guessing this is not going to see a lot of play in limited, but when you need something huge, then you're going to play it because you got nothing else.
Yeah, you just want the cyclers instead.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Alright. Crocodile of the Crossing. This is a very interesting card.
3 and a green for a 5/4 crocodile with haste. When Crocodile of the Crossing enters the battlefield, put a -1/-1 counter on target creature you control. Wow. So 4/3 by itself, but a 5/4 with haste, if you can just put the counter somewhere else.
I don't know why crocodiles need haste. It's real scary.
They can be pretty fast, I guess.
But yeah, this is a great card. Even by itself, as you said, a 4/3 with haste for 4 is perfectly fine. And then, yeah, a 5/4 if you put the counter on your Channeler Initiate or somewhere that it can use it. Great card.
Yeah, this one's really good.
It curves right from the Channeler Initiate too.
Yeah, perfectly.
2 into 4, yeah. Alright, so we have a Hippo.
Defiant Greatmaw.
We haven't got a lot of hippos in Magic. There's a couple of famous ones like Feldergriff, but there's not much. So this is a 2 and a green for a 4/5, and as we're sort of getting the pattern here, that means it's probably going to get neg 1 counters. This one is when it gets 2, so it starts out as a 2/3 for 3, which is fine. And when you put one or more neg 1 counters on it, remove a neg 1 counter from another creature you control.
Hold on. Sorry, being interrupted.
Alright.
You can edit that out, right?
I could. I probably won't, but it's more fun that way.
Yep.
Yeah, real life gets in the way. So we got this guy. This is weird. So if you put counters on it, you can take counters off something else.
Yes. That's cool.
Yeah, so it's sort of weird. And we can see, look, green has a lot of this stuff where you're putting it's heaps of undercosted big creatures that have neg 1 counters. So this is a good way. Even this one, you play it and just rip some counters off something straight away. Swing out nowhere. The Exemplar of Strength, I think, is coming up soon, which will be the best example of that.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, so let's have a look. I think it's not quite here. This is Naturalize. Not quite Naturalize because it only hits artifacts and cycling.
Yeah. I stay in the sideboard. I think this is a good card for Constructed. But
even with cycling, I don't think you want this in main deck.
Yeah, no.
But this one is the one I was just talking about. Exemplar of Strength. So this is a 4/4 for 2. Enters with 3 neg 1 counters, so it's actually a 1/1 for 2. And every time it attacks, remove a counter from it and gain 1 life.
That's pretty good. You're going to want to trade off with this really as soon as you possibly can.
If you can kill this as a 2/2, then definitely kill it as a 2/2. But if you imagine curving this into the Hippo, it becomes a 2/2. It attacks as a 3/3. Very soon it's going to be a 4/4.
Yes. Hang on, how does a Hippo work again? When you put counters on it, it takes counters off something else.
Yeah, but I only take 1. So 1 or more.
Okay.
You can only do 1 at a time.
Yep.
So each time you put any counters on the Hippo, it takes 1 off somewhere else.
Right. Okay, that makes sense. Cool.
So, yeah.
This card's really good, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's basically a bear that gets better.
Again.
Yeah, good card.
We just keep seeing that, yeah.
Pick and play. Hey, we've seen this card before.
Yep, and this is this one that we can play, will be in packs as well?
Yes.
Yep. Giant Spider is the staple green card. You just always play these. They're always good. I've yet to see it be bad in a format.
Yeah, it's just good. It blocks well, it gets in and attacks, it blocks flyers, which is always a problem for green. Put them in your 4-drop slot.
Yep.
Gift of Paradise. Now, I'm not sure about this one. Is this going to be playable, do you think?
When it enters the battlefield, gain 3 life. It ramps you, it fixes. Yeah, I don't see why not.
So I just can't remember. I know that we've seen these kind of cards before. Some of them have been playable, some of them haven't. I think it really depends on the format.
Yeah, I think on the speed of the format. But it gains you some life, so that helps. Yeah, I think you'll play it.
Fair enough. Well, it takes you from 3 to 5, so not a bad one. I reckon you're going to pick up 1 or 2 of these to get you fixing in your ramp.
Yeah, I mean 2 is pushing it, but I'll definitely play 1. Depends how much fixing you need, I guess. Yeah. The thing with this card is and these type of cards, you want it for the ramp and the fixing. If you want one or the other, it's not very good. If you want both, then this is exactly the kind of card you want.
Yeah, you can definitely see that. Okay. Next we have a Greater Sandworm. It's a 7-mana 7/7, so it's huge. It has cycling, so that's nice. You can get rid of it early. And it can't be blocked by creatures with power 2 or less, so no chump blocking. It's coming in and it's taking something serious, or it's hitting for 7.
Yeah, this is really good green finisher common. I really like that ability now. It's becoming more common. It can't be blocked by creatures with power 2 or less. Um, it's a really strong ability. You can't just chuck nothing on in it, as you said.
Yeah, we've seen it recently with Outland Boar and the Girapa Guide from Kaladesh, so, and I've always found those cards to be pretty serviceable. So.
Yeah, I think this is really good. And again, it's got that cycling thing. It's just if you can't cast it and you don't have the mana, go get something out.
And don't be afraid to do that, I think, is important in Limited. Like, if you're on turn 2 or turn 3 and you've got this, like, don't just try to wait forever to get to 7 mana. Like, chuck it and get something more useful if you've got nothing to do.
Yeah, I mean, don't just throw it away, but if you've got like 4 or 5 spells in hand and you don't have any lands, then don't be scared to just get rid of it and play out your hand.
I think even if you've just got a couple of lands left and no spells, if you haven't got anything to do, you need to be willing to cycle this to find something.
Yeah, sure.
Your opponent's going to be building out their board, and if you're just waiting to play lands and get there, you're going to die.
Yeah, good call. Yeah.
Alright, Abatra's Mark.
Okay, 1 green for an instant. Target creature you control gains hexproof until end of turn. Remove all -1/-1 counters from it. This is going to be a good card in this set.
Yeah. I mean, we've already seen a whole bunch of places that neg1 counters get put, and this is just going to be a sweet combat trick. Suddenly my 1/1 Exemplar of Strength is a 4/4 that can block.
Yep. Jeez. Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, neat little combat trick. Again, I think each colour so far, other than red, has a 1 mana combat trick.
Yeah, I think you're right.
So,
yeah,
gonna have to be aware of those little tricks.
Well, red has magma spray, so it's all right.
Yeah, they're fine. Harvest Season. So this I think is going to be more of a casual sort of card, but it could get there in Limited a little bit. Kind of search your library for up to X basic land cards, where X is the number of tapped creatures you control. Put those onto the battlefield, tap to shuffle your library. So for 3 mana, get a few lands.
Yeah, really slow in standard, but yeah, you're right. Yeah, I can see this being really cool in EDH and casual. Yeah.
I mean, it's like a Boundless Realms, I think, is the 6 mana. It just basically doubles your lands. If you're in a token strategy or you're in a go wide with Avenger of Zendikar or something like that, you just rip all of the other lands out of your library and leave yourself with nothing but gas.
Yeah, that sounds sick.
Limited, are you playing this for fixing? Like, you usually get a couple of lands out of this, right?
It's a little bit too conditional. You have to be attacking. So you just have to be in a position where you can attack. So you can't just not miss your 2-drop and then play this on turn 3 to ramp. You have to have a 2-drop that you want to attack with, and it hasn't died in combat. It just seems really conditional to me.
Yeah, that's pretty fair.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. Cycling doesn't make Fog playable.
No, don't play this. It costs 3 to cycle. Come on.
Just no, not unless you absolutely need all the cyclers you can.
Yeah, no.
This one.
6 mana, 6/6 trample snake. This is sick, and it's got embalm, of course. But 6/6 trample snake is a good body, and they have to kill it, and then you just get another one.
And it's embalm for 4 as well, so I can see this being something you discard and then just get 4.
Yeah. Just curve out with that red-green deck where you discard it for the 4/3, and then on turn 4 play this.
Yeah,
that's pretty gross.
That is a giant Hydra. So first pick, this is a bomb card.
Yeah, splashable.
Yeah, I'd probably put it in splashable.
Yeah, I probably would as well.
Good stuff. Have a Hooded Brawler, so it's a 3 mana 3/2. I've seen quite a few of these stats, 3 mana 3/2. And it can be exerted. If it does, if you exert it, it gets +2/+2. So it becomes a 5/4 every other turn.
Yeah, I like that.
A lot of power and toughness. That's not bad.
Yeah, no, hits hard. The problem is if you don't exert it, it just trades off with all the 2/2s. And when it blocks, it trades off with all the 2/2s, so it's not great there. But if you just want to hit hard for a couple of turns, it does a good job.
I think like most of the exert creatures, this is the sort of one where you get in when you can as a 3/2, and then if you can't get in as a 3/2, you get in as a 5/4.
Yeah.
So Not bad.
Or you put your opponent in a tricky situation um, by exerting when they've got, say, two 2/2s or something like that. Do they, trade, or do they do something else? Because if they trade, then that's good for you. You get a 2-for-1. But if they don't trade, then the potential is that you play something else that can block their 2/2s. So it makes the choices really interesting.
Yeah. Exert, I think, is going to be a really skill testing ability. See how
Yep.
that's going to go. Here's a cat.
Yay! I'll enjoy making this one have lifelink. 1 and a green for a 3/1 cat. When it deals combat damage to a player, untap target creature or land. Sure. So it gives something vigilance, I guess. Oh, it's good with the exert creatures, of course.
Very good with exert creatures. Even if you've got nothing else, it untaps itself, so it's a 3/1 with vigilance if they don't block.
Yep.
Or it can help ramp you as well, a little bit. Well, not exactly ramp you.
Yeah, it's awkward. Yeah.
Gives you mana back.
Yeah. I think this is going to play better than it looks. So I think this is going to be a good green common.
Yeah. I mean, 2 mana 3/1s are reasonably playable, but it's just a common, so you're putting it in.
Yeah.
Not too bad.
Trades with all the other 2 drops, and then if it goes unchecked, then it's going to be annoying for your opponent.
Yeah. But be prepared to side this out if your opponent is playing their walls, the 1/5s and the 1/4s.
Yeah, definitely.
Manglehorn.
2 and a green for a 2/2 beast. When it enters the battlefield, destroy target artifact. You're a bit late, buddy. Artifacts your opponents control enter the battlefield tapped. Cool.
Yeah, interesting. It's just sort of fine.
Yeah.
Hate card, but not something you want in limited.
I mean, yeah. You'd have to have. It's a sideboard card. 2/2. The stats aren't good, so yeah.
Yeah. Avoid unless you need to kill artifacts, which I don't think you're going to need to do.
Agreed.
Naga Vitalist. So this is kind of Cultivator Druid, the 1/3. This is a 1/2 for 2 mana. It's a Naga Druid, and it adds 1 mana of to your mana pool of a type a land you control could produce. So it's got the Reflecting Pool ability. So it's going to at least tap for green and probably tap for either color that you have available.
Okay.
So it doesn't necessarily fix you, but it helps you for doubles colors and that sort of stuff.
Yeah. No. This is a really good card. These kind of cards have always been really good and limited, and I think this one's good as well. It doesn't fix you in terms of, giving you your third color, but so you have to be aware of that. But it's still really good. It ramps you.
Yeah, I mean it's a rampant growth. So yeah, I like it. Good card.
Yep.
I'll probably play a lot of these.
Yeah, me too. Good card. Oh, that hairdo just freaks me out a bit. Oshra's Cultivator, green for a 0/3, and you can pay 2 and a green and tap it and sacrifice it. Search your library for a basic land card, put it onto the battlefield tapped, then shuffle your library. If I really need fixing, I'll do it, but I'm not happy about this one.
I think this is alright. I mean, this is a creature, it can sort of block your bears for a while, and then you sack it off to get your ramp and your fixing.
Yeah, okay.
It's embodiment of spring from Khans, which was, I mean, that was more of a 3 and 4 color format, so you needed the fixing more. But
Yeah, and that was 2 colors. I guess this is only 1 color, so that's better. And that's actually, you make a good point. There are a lot of 2/2s in this format, so this does a roll early and then ramps you late. Yeah, okay, I can get behind that.
I kind of like this card, so I don't want a stack of them, but I'll probably pay a couple.
Yep.
So we have an Ornery Kudu. It's an Antelope, a 2 and a green for 3/4, and it enters with a -1/-1 counter on a creature you control. So it enters as a 2/3, or you can put the counter somewhere else.
Yeah, I like putting the counter somewhere else. I'm saying this with all the creatures, of course, but
We've got to find places to put those counters, unfortunately. I mean, we can put it on the Cultivator, and then sack it off
I'll be doing
and
that.
get rid of it.
And maybe just keep that in mind when you're building decks with these cards. I really like a 3/4 for 3 quite a bit. A 2/3 is fine, but yeah, if you don't have like a lot of small things to put them on that you want to put stuff on, then maybe not play this.
There's another filler creature. Again, you've got the synergies with Negua encounters in some places, but
Yeah.
it's okay.
Yep. Pouncing
Flash.
Cheetah. 2 and a green for a 3/2 flash. This card's good. I like this card quite a bit.
Yep. And it's a cat. Works well with
Yep.
Regal Caracal.
Yep. It's not too much to say. Just know that this is kind of a combat trick, and yeah, that's good.
Nice one there. Okay, so this is
Is
weird. It's a cat snake.
This looks so stupid. um, I don't know. It's so jarring. I just don't like looking at it. Prowling Serpopard. Is that how it's pronounced? Serpopard?
It is now.
Okay, cool. 1 green for a 4/3 cat snake. It can't be countered, and creature spells you control can't be countered. This would be really cool if counters existed in Standard.
Yeah, this is a solution without a problem at the moment.
Yeah, I mean it's actually probably good against the blue decks in Limited because what's the call?
Essence Scatter's going to be there.
Essence Scatter. Yeah, it's going to be a really good card. So this is going to be really good against those blue decks in Limited. But the body's good, I guess. But unfortunately, you're right. It's a solution without a problem.
Although apparently the Serpopard is a real mythical creature in Egyptian mythology as well. So it's
is
another
it?
one of those things
Of course it is.
that wizards didn't just make up themselves. They've taken it from mythology. So
Yeah, I'm not a fan.
you don't one of those. Don't want to. It's crawling up on your lap. Not okay with that
No,
cat.
I'm not keen on snakes to begin with. So yeah.
But you like cats,
I like cats and I like the Naga in this set, but no,
Don't put them together.
Some things shouldn't be mixed.
Fair enough. Alright. You probably play this in Limited. I mean, it's a 4/3 for 3, which is
Oh
decent.
yeah, definitely play it. It's a good card, yeah.
Alright, we have a Quarry Caller. We have another Camel, a Camel Tribal coming together.
You've got a couple.
It's a 4 mana 4/3. When it enters the battlefield, for each kind of counter on target permanent, put another counter of that type on it, or remove one from it. So you can either double up or on neg1 counters on your opponent's creatures, or you can remove them
from yours. Yeah, this is a good card. Seems to go in the green theme. Probably best in green black, but you'll just always play this. The body's just good by itself as well.
That's a nice way to pump up your neg1s. We've seen so many of those, so just taking those counters off is going to be nice.
Yeah.
Good common for 4.
This card's so good. Sandworm Convergence. 6 green enchantment. Creatures with flying can't attack you or planeswalkers you control. At the beginning of your end step, create a 5/5 green worm creature token. Okay, so it costs 8, so it's not very good. But this is the kind of card I like winning with.
This is gonna end a game. I mean, it's one of Kiora's ultimates. Just make it 5/5 every turn.
Yeah, and I did a lot of Kiora ultimating back in the day. So yeah, I love this card.
Yeah, it's very strange. The flying part. I mean, the worms are just like chomping on the birds, saying you're not allowed to come through. It's a bit weird.
Yeah, pretty much.
But yeah,
Warding
8
them off.
mana. 8 mana for a green enchantment.
Yeah.
I mean, it might get there in sealed. You'll lock up the game long enough. But...
Jeez. 8 is a lot, though. It's like half the lands in your deck. That's like turn 15 or something.
Yeah, it's going to be tough.
Don't like the sound of that.
I hope I get this late, and then I might sneak it into a deck somewhere, but I'm not picking it early.
Oh, yeah. I'm going to have fun by making a deck that'll make this work, but I don't think it's very good.
Alright, next we have the Scaled Behemoth. It's a gigantic crocodile, 6 mana, 6/7 hexproof. And that is going to be really hard to kill. Hexproof 6/7.
Why does a crocodile have hexproof?
Thick hide, maybe.
Yeah, okay.
Or
yeah, this
every
card's
mage that
pretty
comes
sweet.
near it is just too scared to be able to cast spells. They just crap themselves and run away.
Yeah. This is a good card, good finisher for green. We've seen a couple. Again, it's fighting with all the cyclers, which is unfortunate, but
Even so,
This
I
one I
think this
might
is
be able.
good enough.
Yeah. Um, yeah, there's not much more to say about it. It's just we've seen similar sort of cards, and they're good.
What I'd like to point out though is it says at the bottom there, surviving an encounter with this is proof enough that an initiate is ready for the trial of strength. So this is not the trial of strength. This is just to see if you're good enough to get to the trial of strength. I'm kind of worried what that trial is going to be.
Yeah. I don't know. I haven't seen anything in the lore so far about the trial of strength, but I don't want to. Yeah, I don't want to know what
If
it
this is
is.
the precursor, this is the test for the test. That's pretty serious.
They have to be at least 7/7s.
Yeah. All right. Shed weakness. This is
Uh,
Green's combat trick. Another combat trick for Green.
yeah, yeah. This is a really good one. One green for an instant, get +2/+2 until end of turn, and you can remove a -1/-1 counter from it. So potentially giant growth, which has always been decent.
Yeah.
But even +2/+2 is usually good enough.
Yeah, +2/+2 on a creature that doesn't have a neg1 counter, and you permanently buff your creatures that have neg1 counters. So
Yeah,
yeah, neat little trick there.
yeah. And 1 mana is just dangerous now. You
Yeah.
just got to be aware that there's something going on.
Yeah, attacking and blocking is going to be difficult in this format with all the tricks.
Yeah, with any certainty, you just can't. Yeah.
All right, another cycler.
Yeah, Sheafet Monitor, 5 and a green for a 6/5 lizard with cycling, with 3 and a green. When you cycle it, you may search your library for a basic land card or a desert card. Put it onto the battlefield, then shuffle your library. So fixing, or it gets one of the special, or not special, but one of the non-basic land desert cards, which have an ability. There's a few of them, I think, in the set.
Yes. Yeah, so we've got 2 or 3 deserts that we can possibly be searching for. Most of them are common as well, so that should be interesting.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's a 6/5 for 6 if you don't need the ramp. So
Yeah. This seems really good. This is one of the ones that I really like. I think I'll probably want the body more, but if you like, it's just the alternate of getting fixing
yeah,
for it is just great.
good one. I think it's there's a few other cycling cards that do similar things in history. I can't remember the name of it, but things like Elvish Aberration and stuff like that were similar.
Yeah.
Sixth Sense. So this is Green Curiosity, which is curious in itself. So 1 mana, enchant aura, enchant a creature. The creature has, whenever it deals combat damage to a player, you may draw a card. Don't know
I
why.
like it.
Don't know why Curiosity has been color shifted, but it seems like a good card.
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe they thought it made sort of sense with green as like a instinctual sort of thing. Um, but yeah, I like it. I tend to not play these so much because I don't rely on my creatures getting through, especially when it doesn't buff. So I don't know. I think I'll be playing it in green blue if anything because the blue creatures have the flying to get through.
Yeah, I think you need some evasive creatures. So at the very least, you need something like a menace creature that's more likely to get through. Try
Yeah.
and incentivize your opponent to double block. And the other thing is, it lets you keep up combat tricks as well. So you chuck this on your creature because it's only 1 mana, and then if they put in extra effort to block it, you can sort of blow them out that way.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, yeah, okay, not a bad card. I'll probably play 1 or 2 in my decks.
Yep.
Spidery Grasp.
2 and a green for an instant untap target creature. It gets +2/+4 and gains reach until end of turn. So the untapping is relevant for exert, and this usually will get what you're trying to get when you block.
Yeah, unless they
Yeah,
have
it's a
a
huge
good
buff.
trick, it's a big buff. It basically just turns it into a giant spider. We saw giant spider before, so it gives all of the
Well,
giant spider. It attaches a giant spider to the creature.
yeah. So yeah. So this card was good when it was in Innistrad, original Innistrad. It always got its man. So I'll be happy to play these in limited.
Great, good green removal. Stinging Shot. Not bad. This is 1 green for an instant to put 3 neg1 counters on target creature with flying, which pretty much is going to kill most of the flyers. And if you don't need that, you can
Yep.
cycle it for 2.
Yep. Again, another one, a sideboard card that I would bring in when I need it, and cycling just makes me feel so much better about doing that.
Yep, decent card. Keep
Yeah.
rolling. Synchronized strikes. I'm less happy about that. I think Spidery Grasp is going to be better than this one. This is 2 and a green, so same cost, instant, untap up to 2 creatures, and they get +2/+2.
Do you think Spider Grasp is better?
I like the bigger toughness boost because it means you're going to get through and survive combat better.
Yeah, I suppose so. Um, there is a lot of power in this though. Being able to ambush two things in one combat, especially if you're racing, this can be really brutal to your
Yeah,
opponent.
certainly. Yeah, it's a very powerful trick.
Yeah. Um, Even if you just maybe untap an exert guy and use your other guy to kill a creature or something. I don't know. I just think this one's really, really good. I'll be
Yeah,
playing a lot of these.
yeah. No, that's pretty fair. I can see how that would go well, particularly with the exert. If you've got multiple exert creatures that you're untapping, I can see that. Yeah,
Yep.
I like that one. All right, here is our trial of strength.
Okay. So Trial of Strength is a 2 and a green enchantment, as they all are. When Trial of Strength enters the battlefield, create a 4/2 green beast creature token. So a 4/2 for 3 mana. That's not bad. When a cartouche enters the battlefield under your control, return it to your hand, just like all the others. Um, I like this one. I think this one's good as well.
That seems fine. You get a decent creature out of it, and if you can play some cartouches for more value, it's pretty good.
Yeah. Especially because it gives you something to put a cartouche on.
Mm,
So I don't know. That feels really good to me.
that seems like some good value.
Yeah.
All right, so decent trial will play more often than not.
Yep.
Vizier of the Menagerie. Now, this is a very fun card. There's a lot going on in the art, so just take a moment to appreciate all the stuff happening there that Victor, I can't read the rest of his name, has done. So it's a Naga Cleric. It's a 3/4 for 4 mana, so 3 and a green. You may look at the top card of your library, and you can do that whenever you like. You may cast the top card of your library if it is a creature. So you look at it, say, oh, it's a creature, I'm going to cast it. And you may spend mana as though it were mana of any type to cast creature spells. So in limited, this is going to give you access to an extra card sometimes. Probably sort of 2/3 of the time, you're going to get an extra card. And it fixes you, just outright fixes you.
Yep. That's an amazing sort of ability, that third one. The second one's really good for limited, I think, because usually over half your creature, about half your deck is creatures. So a lot of the time you get, as you said, access to another card. I think it works well with the cyclers as well. To help you, if it's a land on top, you can cycle to get the land and then see a new card. Otherwise, yeah, I think you just always play in limited. But for constructed, what do you think?
Well, firstly, judges are really happy that it says look at the top card and not reveal the top card. Not only is it better for you because you don't have to give away information, but the number of judge calls that things like Courser of Krufix called because, oops, I accidentally revealed an extra card, or I forgot to stop revealing when my Courser died, or whatever. So
Yeah,
frustrating. I think it's not going to be fast enough for constructed yet. Again, the speed of the format is too much. But the constructed format it is good for is EDH and Commander. This is such fun card. Specifically, I want to put in my Anima Soul of Elements deck because this guy, you're looking at cards and they're getting cheaper. And because you're playing Commander, you can also play Yeva, so you can look at the top card and play it at instant speed. And just for more fun, let's throw in Seedborn Muse so you can do that every turn for the rest of the game. Just,
you came prepared for this one.
I did. I love this card, and I've got my Animar deck ready to go to just chuck this into. So this is going to have a lot of fun with a lot of cards. The Vizier of the Menagerie is going to have lots of friends.
I need to get a Seedborn Muse. I didn't even know that was a card.
Oh, it's a dumb card. It's
Yeah, it seems like
if you
it.
see that in Commander, you must kill it immediately.
Yeah, it was like the one that got banned, wasn't it? The green blue one.
It's similar, yeah.
Yeah. Um,
Well, the green
for
blue one
me,
did Seedborn Muse and Yeva on one card, so now you have to have them separate.
yeah. Oh well, that's okay. Um, My problem with Vizia is that it's got one too much power. I want it for my Azuri deck, but
Uh,
I don't think I can do it. I don't think I can put it in there. Just as a rule.
this is a rule, it has to be a 2 or less.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Alright, what we have next is a Watchful Naga.
Phew, I like this. Two and a green for a 2/2. When you exert it, you may draw a card. I
Okay.
feel pretty good about that.
Yeah, just a bear that gets to draw a card sometimes. So
Yep.
not bad. Good one to untap with your those combat skills we've seen.
Yeah, yeah, and I think there's maybe 3 or 4 untapped combat tricks that we've seen at the moment. So I'm pretty happy with stuff like this where you can get a card out of it.
Yeah, good stuff. All right, and we have the last one, which is a mouth to feed.
So mouth now equals hippo token. So yeah, so effectively, mouth is create a 3/3 green hippo token, which is cool, I guess. And feed. Hang on. Draw a card for each creature you control with power 3 or greater. So that's okay. I'm not too, thrilled with that one, but
Yeah,
this one's okay.
it's fine. I think the mouth part, it's a 3/3 for 3, which is just fine, and it has some utility later on. If you've got a few creatures lying around, you can draw some cards, help fuel you into the later game. But
Yeah.
it's just fine. All right, and that
Cool.
takes us to the end of the green cards. So that's everything. We're almost there. We've got one to go, which is going to have the artifacts, multicolor, and lands. That should be
With
really
spicy
interesting.
ones.
So yeah, some really really cool cards in there. So
Yeah.
join us for our last set review for Amonkhet.
Cool. See you guys.